Statistics show that public speaking is one of our greatest fears. Most people would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy. But if you're destined to be a business leader, sooner or later, you'll be called on to present.
Jonathan Weaver is a member of Toastmasters and coaches people on public presenting. He's also president of Peak Performers, a company that brings some of North America's top speakers to York Region. He gives us his abbreviated notes on better public speaking.
I've come to realize that there's really a little formula that a lot of people can use. I call it VIBE. It's an acronym, V-I-B-E. V is for vocal variety, I is for creating intimacy, B is for creating good body language, and E is the secret to eye contact. So if we look at vocal variety as an example, people have power with their voice by modulating it. We've all had the teacher in high school who talked monotone and people were bored to death. So people need to talk at different speeds. From time to time, you're going to want to speed up to create excitement, but that your audience can only probably understand information at the speed at which they speak. So from time to time, you're going to want to slow down. And when you slow down, people listen more intently and take better notes. So vocal variety and speed, modulation, and volume can have a huge impact. When we talk about creating intimacy, it's quite different. Obviously, if we're having a one-on-one conversation, we're talking one-to-one. When many people talk to a large group, all of a sudden they get nervous or they make grammatical errors. Example, raise your hands if. Now the instruction is raise your hands, which means most people would raise both hands if we were talking one-on-one. And in order to create intimacy, people in the audience, no matter how large it is, need to feel as though you're talking directly to them. So the answer would be raise your hand if. And that way, even though whether they raise their hand or not, they feel as though the message was directed to them.
Another way we communicate is through body language, a key point we can't forget when presenting.
So what I'm suggesting is your gesture size should be appropriate to the size of your audience. The bigger your audience, the bigger your gestures. It doesn't make sense to talk like this if there's a whole big audience, and it doesn't make sense to talk like this if there's only one person in front of you. Now, the trick to eye contact is a funny one. The truth of the matter is that speakers, when they get nervous, tend to look for friends in the audience. So what professional speakers have taught me is that you should look people directly in the forehead. That way your peripheral vision gives them eye contact. Your audience feels as though you're looking them in the eyes, but you're not stuck like a kite, tethered to that individual who you got a great visual with.
The skills of a good public speaker are learned with practice and training. It's a good idea to measure feedback from your audience and seek advice from someone in the know. We suggest you start on time and end on time. It's better to leave your audience wanting more rather than giving them far too much.